Steph Curry has been lighting up the NBA for 15 seasons, all with the Golden State Warriors. Along the way, he's racked up an incredible list of achievements. He's bagged 4 NBA championships, 2 regular season MVPs, an NBA Finals MVP, an NBA All-Star Game MVP, and he was named the NBA's Clutch Player of the Year. Oh, and let's not forget he's the first ever Western Conference Finals MVP too. Curry also dominated the scoring charts, taking home 2 NBA scoring titles. He's been named an All-Star 10 times and landed on the All-NBA team 10 times, 4 of those being first-team honors. And don't even get me started on his international accolades. He's got 2 gold medals from the FIBA World Cup and 1 from the 2024 Summer Olympics with Team USA. Now, as he enters his 16th season, Steph is aiming for yet another ring, but this time without his fellow Splash brother, Klay Thompson, who's now with the Dallas Mavericks. But before we look forward, we're going to look back. In this video, we're breaking down the times Steph Curry proved he's the GOAT, because some of these moments are nothing short of legendary. Game 4 of the 2016 NBA Finals. Golden State had already jumped ahead with a 2-0 start, but after LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and the Cavs responded with a dominant Game 3, the pressure was on. A win for Cleveland would have evened the series at 2-2, but Steph wasn't about to let that happen. He delivered a masterclass performance, seemingly putting the Warriors in control of the series. Steph Curry dropped 38 points to give the Warriors a commanding 3-1 lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Of course, we all know how that story ends, but at that moment, it felt like Curry had put the Cavs on the ropes and the Warriors on the brink of another championship. Little did we know what would unfold next, but this game was a reminder of just how unstoppable Curry could be when the stakes were at their highest. Game 2, 2013, first round against the Denver Nuggets. This was Curry's playoff series debut, and although the Nuggets didn't have a big-name superstar, they did have home court advantage and managed to keep Curry in check during Game 1, holding him to just 19 points on 7 for 20 shooting. But in Game 2, Steph had something to prove. Playing in the challenging high altitude of Denver, he bounced back with 30 points and 13 assists. On paper, those numbers might not jump out, but this game was Curry's official arrival on the big stage. He was electric, slicing through the Nuggets' defense, and the guards simply had no answer for him. His deadly combination of elite shooting and ball handling left the Nuggets scrambling. The Warriors went on to win that series in 6 games, and though they eventually fell to the Spurs in the next round, one thing was crystal clear. The NBA had just witnessed the rise of a new star, and his name was Steph Curry. Game 3 of the 2019 NBA Finals. This game often gets overlooked, mainly because the Warriors lost both the game and the series, but Curry's effort was nothing short of remarkable. With his team shorthanded and facing a tough Raptors defense featuring Kawhi Leonard, Marc Gasol, Pascal Siakam, and Danny Green, Curry put on a show. He dropped 47 points on 14 of 31 shooting, including 6 of 14 from beyond the arc, while also grabbing 8 rebounds and dishing out 7 assists. Curry was simply unstoppable, doing everything in his power to keep the Warriors in the game. Despite his heroics, the rest of the team struggled mightily, shooting under 37% from the field and combining for as many 3-pointers as Curry made on his own. In the end, the Warriors lost by 14 points, but that was no reflection on Curry's performance. Double bang. This game is on almost every list of the greatest games ever played, and for good reason. Even ESPN's Mike Breen couldn't hold back, calling Curry's game-winning shot an out-of-body experience, as he shouted his now famous bang bang when Steph drained a 32-foot dagger to win the game in overtime. The Warriors were already on a historic tier that season with a 52-5 record, on their way to breaking the Chicago Bulls record of 72 wins. And Curry? He was playing on another level entirely, finishing the game with 46 points, including an astonishing 12 three-pointers. All but 2 of his field goals came from beyond the arc, perfectly capturing the essence of the season, where he shattered the record with 402 threes in a single season. What makes this game even more special is the context. Curry did it against Durant and Westbrook, 2 of the league's biggest stars, whom he would later face in the Western Conference Finals. Game 7, 2023, first round versus Kings. This game was nothing short of legendary, as Curry shattered records and put on one of the finest displays of his career to keep the Warriors' season alive. At 35 years old, you might expect him to have slowed down, especially against a young, fast-paced Kings team that had been pushing the Warriors to their limits all series. But Curry? He did the exact opposite. With Klay Thompson struggling from the field, Steph took matters into his own hands, taking a staggering 38 shots and hitting 20 of them to finish with a playoff career-high 50 points. He also added 8 rebounds and 6 assists for good measure. Not only was this performance the highest-scoring Game 7 in NBA history, but Curry also became just the second player after Karl Malone to drop 50 points in a playoff game at the age of 35 or older. The revenge versus LeBron. Before the infamous 3-1 collapse, there was a lot of buzz around Steph Curry being hailed as the best basketball player in the world, with some fans even drawing comparisons to Michael Jordan. Winning the NBA championship seemed like the cherry on top of an incredible season, but LeBron James and the Cavaliers had other ideas. Fast forward to the 2017 NBA Finals, where Curry and the Warriors faced off against the Cavs for the 3rd consecutive year. This time, though, things were different. With the addition of Kevin Durant, the Warriors became an unstoppable force, leaving the Cavs struggling to keep up. Even though Durant ended up taking home the Finals MVP award, Game 5 was Curry's moment for redemption. He delivered a stunning performance, scoring 34 points and complementing Durant's 39-point effort beautifully. The Warriors clinched the championship with that win, marking the beginning of their dynasty. Over the next 3 years, they would go on to secure 2 Larry O'Brien trophies, solidifying their status as one of the greatest teams in NBA history. 3-point king. It had been a decade since Ray Allen set the record for the most 3-pointers made in NBA history, surpassing Reggie Miller's mark in his 15th season before retiring 3 years later. But in a remarkable twist, Steph Curry broke that record in just his 13th season. This accomplishment becomes even more impressive when you consider that Curry has faced significant injury challenges, missing 30 games or more in 3 different seasons, including only playing 5 games during the 2019 to 2020 season. Despite his injury struggles, the NBA community always felt that Curry was destined to surpass Allen's record. Over the previous 3 seasons, he averaged over 11 3-point attempts per game, far exceeding Allen's career high of 8.4 attempts in a single season. The moment everyone was waiting for arrived on December 14th, 2021 at the iconic Madison Square Garden. With the Knicks' defender on him, Curry expertly navigated from the paint to the 3-point line, receiving a kick-out pass from Andrew Wiggins. He then sunk 3-pointer number 2,974, marking a historic moment. At that point, 2,974 was the only unbroken record in Curry's career. He had already set the bar incredibly high by hitting 402 threes in a single regular season. Game 3 2018 versus Rockets. The Rockets had just pulled off an incredible comeback, erasing a 3-1 deficit against the Los Angeles Clippers, and were riding that momentum into the series against the Warriors. After knocking off a Clippers team that many considered the best assembled, Houston seemed like a real threat to Golden State. Even though they dropped the first 2 games on the road by narrow margins, they still had hope. But when the series shifted to Houston, Steph Curry wasn't interested in letting the Rockets build any more momentum. In Game 3, he completely shattered their finals dreams with a ruthless performance, dropping 40 points while hitting 7 of 9 3-pointers. Curry's efficiency was off the charts, shooting 63.2% from the field, and the Warriors rolled to a 35-point blowout win. This put them up 3-0. essentially sealing the series and extinguishing any chance James Harden and the Rockets had of advancing. Breaking Kobe's record. Back in 2003, when Kobe was wearing number 8, he dropped 12 threes against the Seattle Supersonics. Known for being a relentless scorer, Kobe's record felt untouchable, much like Kareem's 38,387 career points. But if anyone was going to break it, it was bound to be Steph Curry. After a long offseason filled with the sting of the Warriors' collapse against LeBron James and the Cavaliers, Curry returned with a vengeance. The New Orleans Pelicans happened to be on the wrong side of his historic performance. Steph went 13 for 17 from beyond the arc, making one more three than Kobe on one fewer attempt. His sharpshooting was flawless that night, and it seemed like a record that could stand for years. However, in true Warriors fashion, this record didn't even last long within Curry's team. Just 2 years later, his fellow Splash brother, Klay Thompson, would go on to surpass him by hitting 14 threes in a game in 2018. Is Steph Curry the greatest of all time, or is there someone else who deserves that title? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'll see you next time.